What's going on, people? Can you hear me? Everyone type in the chat yes if you can hear me. I just got off stage in front of 100 of you incredible people, and I ran up here because I realized it was noon in San Diego, and I had a beautiful live stream to get to. And some days you will be in that mix where you have multiple things going on at once, and sometimes you can't be everywhere all at once. But when we allow ourselves to say, you know what, it's okay. We're human. We're getting things done. We have a beautiful team that takes care of just about everything. With this live stream being more new, it's just myself and Andrew kind of hopping on and taking care of it until we get our team to take care of other aspects. But I kind of like it that way. You know, it's more real. It's more just you and I chatting. Today, Andrew right now is currently on stage. This is why this whole week it's just been me on this live stream, because during noontime we've divided rather and conquered, where I take care of the live stream with you guys, and then Andrew's taking care of everyone downstairs, about 100 entrepreneurs at Truka 2.0. But today I have my handy dandy phone here with my notes, because typically my computer's a lot closer, but I wanted to charge it, so it's on the charger so I can still see your guys' comments. Hey Danielle, hey Marlon. Today we're going over how to win over your mind, how to remove insecurity, how to create a mentality that supports you in everything that you do so that you can create the success that you want. I remember being so insecure and so fragile when anyone would cut me off on the road, or if anyone said the wrong words to me, I would get all red and I would really start having this spiral of negativity that would happen to me. You know, I'd be in class and I would stub my toe maybe an hour before, and then in class I started saying all these negative things to myself, and all of a sudden I fail a test, and because I fail a test, I start calling myself different names, and I go down this negative spiral that starts lasting for a whole week, which lasts for a whole month, which ends up calling itself a rut. Type in the chat yes if you've ever been in a rut. If you feel me on this, if you've been in the same place where you have been in this negative spiral for so long and the people around you maybe are negative as well. Today, we're going to solve that. I'm going to give you guys the philosophy and the understanding of how to switch that in your brain and how to get out of this mental funk and start winning. So, number one is going to be rewriting self-talk to match your vision. So everyone type in the chat self-talk. So what you say to yourself on a daily basis is not just commentary. I used to think I was the funniest person. Me and my brain would just be chatting up, and I would say funny jokes to myself until I realized that our brain doesn't know if we're joking or not. It doesn't understand that it's just commentary. What it does is it starts to program the way that we move on any given basis. So what I want you to do is I want you to start being very aware right now in this very moment. Be very aware of the thoughts that you've had throughout the day. You know, you're on this live right now. My thoughts are, hey, this is crooked, but I'm going to keep going. The thoughts that are going through your brain, maybe it's negative, maybe it's been positive, maybe something's been going on throughout your day or throughout your week, and you've just been stuck on that one thing. Oh, I should have done this, or I should have done that, or, you know, I should text Billy Bob. Right? Or I should have worked out today. I can't believe I didn't work out. I'm so out of shape. Think about those thoughts for a minute and think about what emotions those charge up. Is it a positive emotion that comes up, or is it a negative emotion that comes up? When you think about the energetic charge of your thoughts, you start to realize that that actually programs the way that you move on any given basis. So catch the negative and rewrite it and reinforce what you want to believe. Let me break that down. When we catch the negative thoughts, it was like myself when I first started the business. I first started out doing couch flipping, which led me to real estate. But when I was doing real estate, I was making calls every day. But the whole time I would say, I hope they don't answer. Or I'm not good at the phones. And I'm not meant to do this business. So every time I said that, it reinforced the behavior when I did end up being on the phone that ruined the sale. It ruined the conversation. Same thing when it came to friendships. I told myself that no one likes me, or I said things like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not charismatic enough, or I'm not confident like those guys. And all of a sudden, that programs your mind to behave in a certain way. And when you behave in a certain way, you act in a certain way. And when you act in a certain way, that becomes your character. And you're judged by your character. Right? The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So when you think thoughts of, I'm not good enough, you are going to become not good enough. Your cells are going to tell you you're not good enough, so you have to shrink yourself down. Your mind's going to tell you this phone call is not going to go well, or this live's not going to go, or this whatever it is not going to go well, because you continue to condition yourself that you're not good enough. But we have to catch that. Whenever you tell yourself that you're not good enough, it's your time to catch that and say, you know what? Why am I saying this to myself? Does saying that I'm not good enough serve me in my life? And if not, then rewrite it to a belief that you want to have in your vision. I talked to a good buddy of mine today, he's a student of ours, and he was explaining to me how he was feeling about his kids, how he was feeling about his relationship, how he was feeling about his business. And I sat back and I said, Ethan, you are so smart in everything you're doing. And you have to realize, though, the way that you're speaking out is not the person that you want to become. And as we were going through this conversation, he was like, absolutely, you're right. I have been speaking out negativity. I've been putting out this negativity out, but that's kind of where my embodiment has become. I've started to become this negativity. I started to be this negative person based on the words that I've been saying. You know, and Ethan's such an incredible person. He's such a good father. And he realized, like, wow, maybe I've been putting that on my family. Maybe I've been putting on the people around me because of the negativity that I've been putting out, because it's the negativity that I've been feeling in my own mind. Type in the chat, yes, if you guys are understanding this, because I want you guys to really develop this awareness of the way that you think and take this as not a personal thing. The awareness of your self-talk and rewriting your self-talk is actually the biggest benefit that you can have towards your family, towards your team, towards the future self. But when I was talking to another student, he asked me, how do I do this? Like, Leo, I get it. I have to think better. I have to visualize that person, but like how and why? And I started to say, there's moments where you, and I'll talk to you right now, where you have so much energy and you have so much excitement. That person is a version of yourself that is higher, right? It's a higher version of yourself. And sometimes it comes up. And I know if I'm talking to you right now, there is moments where that happens. But I was telling him, you have to continue to be that person and pretend that that is the always version of yourself, the nonstop version of yourself. That is the basis of the person you are, is that best version of yourself. And I was telling him to pretend as that person. And what does pretend mean? Everyone type in the chat, pretend. To pretend is to tend to nurture that future version of yourself before it happens. So I'm going to say that one more time. To pretend is to nurture the future version of yourself before it happens. That's why we call it pretend. So when you say to yourself, you know what, I am becoming the best version of myself. I am handsome. I am great at sales. I am becoming better at sales every single day. And why don't I just pretend that I am that person? Right? What would that person do? That person would stand up before a sales call. That person would do some jumping jacks. And they would say to themselves, hey, I'm going to make 10K. I'm going to make 20K on this call. You watch me. And all of a sudden your energy changes and the person on the other side of the phone feels that energy, and it translates into your sales. It translates into your relationships. It translates into the gym. When you believe that you're a person that works out, when you believe that you're a person that's strong and you start lifting some weights or doing some cardio, and your mind is able to push you harder. Because really, we only go a certain percentage of the capability we have as humans. I heard the percentage was something like 20%. We only go 20% as hard as we possibly could in our human potential. Why is that? It's because of the limiting beliefs that we put upon ourselves, and that those limiting beliefs are continually strengthened because of our self-talk. So this leaves me to number 2. Starve the old mind, feed the new one. Now, this changed my life when I started to do what's called the prince and the pauper. Okay, the prince is the person that you want to become. You want to become the prince. You want to become very kind and whatever version of yourself that you want to create. I used to call it the king and the peasant, or the lion and the sheep. Let's just say the lion. The lion is the version of yourself that you want to create. You want to be confident. You want to be charismatic. You want to be wealthy. You want to be someone who has strong conviction in your voice. And the sheep or the pauper or the peasant is the old version of yourself. And we characterize it so we can remember it in our brain, and we can really understand that, hey, we're being a sheep, or we're being a quote unquote peasant or a pauper. And you look at the old self, right? My old self was jealous. My old self was angry. My old self was insecure. My old self was egotistic. And I had to remove those parts of myself. But now you see both sides, the new self, the prince, and the old self, the pauper. Now, what you need to do is you need to feed the new self. You need to feed that version of yourself. And you need to starve the old self. And I don't mean physically starving yourself. Absolutely not. I mean starve those thoughts of this person that calls you insecure, this person that calls you fat, this person that calls you worthless. We do it to ourselves. If we starve that version of ourselves, if we starve that mind and feed this new mind, guess what happens? We start to create a new mindset. We start to create a new mentality around the way we do things. This is the concept in the Truka show that we hope you guys understand, so that you could take this mentality and become a great operator to utilize in your business. Because most of the people who have a successful life across all categories are the ones who first escaped the mental prison and first believed that they could do it and that they could create a holistically balanced life. And I'm careful by saying balance, because on a day like this, we're working 16 hours. Where's the balance there, right? But we're going through seasons. We're in a season of hustle. We're in a season of doing a 4-day event and a live stream every day during the weekdays. After that, we're going to recover and we're going to rest. That's the type of balance that we see. But it's never 50-50. Balance is never 50-50. So that's number 2. Starve the old mind, feed the new one. The next thing I want to cover is imagination is the blueprint for reality. But I want you guys to write this down. Feeling is the secret. It's a book that I want every single one of you guys to read. It's by Neville Goddard. And it's this idea that your mind does not know the difference between reality and something that was imagined. You've had the dream before where you're sleeping and all of a sudden you're waking up because you feel like you're falling off of a roof and you get a jolt in your body. Your brain did not recognize whether that was reality or if it was a dream or not. So in that same sense, we can sit back and say, okay, how can I use that for the benefit? Most of you guys are on an Apple right now. Some of you guys are on Android. Some of you guys are on different platforms. But all these platforms, all these devices, this MacBook, this camera, they were all created in the mind first before it was able to be held. Same thing happens for your reality and the life that you want to live. You have to first see it in your mind and feel it. Feel those emotions that would come up as you're thinking about your future. And that's going to shorten the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And I really want you guys to dive into this. And I know I'm going fast because I'm about to go back on stage. But when you can create a habit, when you can read Feeling is a Secret, and you create the habit every day of visualizing your future, and you feel what it's like to be in this body, and you feel what it's like to be charismatic, and you feel what it's like to run a team, now you can open your eyes and say, okay, that felt good. How can I do that today? How can I make sure I lead my team this way? How can I make sure I smile at these individuals this way? Because I felt it and that's what they would do. That's what the prince would do. That's what the greatest version of myself would do. But when you visualize it on any given day, it puts you back in the state of remembering what it feels like to be this person. We have to continually do that, just like we're in the gym building our muscles. You have to continually see that version as it implants into your brain and programs you to act in that way, to think in that way. If we understand back to this idea that thinking creates behaviors, creates actions, creates your character, then we can create a new character by changing the way we think. This is good. I'm having a lot of fun with you guys. So I'm gonna cover one more, and this is a live to come back to, right? This is one to continually study, and it's a topic that I've been studying for 7 years. That's why I kind of go about it really fast. But I want to make sure this last piece that I cover, that you really take notes, that you really take account for it and utilize it in your life. And then you come back to this after the fact and you study it again. Because when you change the way you think, you change your entire life. But you have to have the accountability for it. Because we're habitual creatures. You might say, today I'm going to start thinking a little bit more positive. And then tomorrow comes and you forget. You forgot that you're on this path of thinking positive. And you start being mean to yourself again. You start saying these negative things to yourself again. You have to catch it when it happens. And if I was coaching you, for example, and we're talking and you're just expressing out loud, I would catch you every time you said something negative about yourself. I'll say, don't say that to yourself. Why would you say that to yourself? All right, it's almost like a parent. Something good about, well, there's many great things about my mother, but something that my mom always did, which she would catch me when I would say negative things to myself and say, Leo, that's not how you talk to yourself. Try again. And then I would get myself to say something nice about myself. And that's why I am so confident now, because I always catch myself when I say something negative. But catching yourself is the same concept as reframing it. You reframe the idea that I'm not good enough to I'm becoming excellent at the things I do. I'm becoming more and more strong. I'm getting better and better every day. Those are the words that you say to yourself on any given moment that get you to be smarter, that get you to be more wise, that get you to make better decisions, that get you more fit. Because the person who is saying to themselves, I am getting better and better every day, will continually improve, and they will see a goal of getting fit, and they will take the actions to do it, and they will think in order of the person who is already fit. Versus the person who has an installed mindset of I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, these things happen to me, so of course I'm dumb, of course I'm ugly, but of course I'm this. Remove that side of negative thinking as soon as you possibly can, because the only way that you're going to create the success that you deserve, the success that God wants for you, is by removing those demons of negative thought that hold you back and keep you in this cycle of a rut. So if there's anything to take away from this lesson here, if there's anything to take away from my talk with you, it is to reframe your mindset, reframe the words, the thoughts that you think, that commentary with yourself, because it's not just commentary, it's programming. You're always programming yourself. This is why you guys tune into this live stream that we do, is because you know that we're programming you to think better about yourself, because why wouldn't we want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to think better about yourself? Why wouldn't you want to feel smarter, to create more success, to be happier in your relationships, to be more powerful, to have more conviction in your voice? All these things are only going to benefit you in the dreams that you have for yourself. So you might as well do it for yourself every day. I know you guys are going to continue tuning in, and we're going to keep giving you guys business strategies. We're going to keep giving you guys our energy, even on the days that we don't have much. We're going to keep giving you guys our skill sets. But do us the biggest favor, guys. This show is free. We take time out of our day to study, to prepare, to learn, to go through our experiences, to share here with you guys, even on a 4-day event like this. Our biggest ask is that you utilize it. Take the action. When you talk to yourself today, talk to yourself like I would talk to you. Just think about that. What would Leo say? What would Leo say to me? He wouldn't let me call myself any names. In fact, he would only praise me for the things that I am good at. And he would continually tell you, you are getting better and better every day. You're on this show, right? You are improving. You are getting smarter. You are getting more fit because you're making those decisions to even think in that way. So guys, I'm going to end it off here. It is 12:30 on my end, and I'm hopping back on stage and eating lunch, and then we have another 6-7 hours. Oh, dinner. 9 hours of pouring into people. But know that on a day like this, where I have probably a 16 to 18-hour day of complete output, I'm speaking highly of myself in my mind, and I'm keeping my eyes fixed on God. Because when that happens, I can do those things. I can say, God, you are good. Guide me, bless me with energy. And I could tell myself, Leo, you're built for this. You can do this. Go get some rest. Take 30 minutes. I'm coaching myself and guiding myself like I am my best friend. So think how I would think. Ask yourself, what would Leo do? What would Andrew do? Because I promise you, we would tell you to think stronger of yourself, to keep your eyes fixed on God, to keep your eyes fixed on the prize, and make sure that all of your thoughts are in alignment with the version of yourself that you want to create. Please, guys, please. This is the year of no more negative talk, no more bashing yourself, no more holding yourself back. Okay? That's all I have for you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. What a day. It's going to be a great day.